What's up everyone, welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be wrapping my Subaru WRX Impreza center console right here. We're going to be wrapping it carbon fibre. I wasn't really too sure of what to wrap this in or what to paint it in, but I've come to the conclusion I'm going to give it a go of wrapping it. When I bought this, it's come with all like these black stains on it. I don't know what it is. I've tried so many different cleaning products, but it won't actually budge off, and when you try and scratch it off, it's not making any difference whatsoever. And the rest of the car is black, and on like this side here, it kind of looks like a carbon fibre effect. It obviously isn't carbon, but it does give off the effect. So what I'm going to do is inside, I'm going to wrap it in this carbon wrap here. When you're doing this, if you're going to do this, you need to make sure the pattern is facing the right way. So if you want it facing down like that, you obviously do it that way. But if you want it to go the other way, obviously you go that way. So make sure when you're doing this, the pattern isn't going that way and then you do the bottom one and then it goes that way, because it will look weird. Unless that's what you want to do yourself, obviously it's personal preference, but that's how I'm doing it. I'm making it match all the way around. You're going to need one of these, which is a plastic trim remover. It's better than using your hands or like a metal knife, because obviously you don't want to break the clips on the center console. You're going to need a heat gun for when you're wrapping, and of course, most of all, if you're wrapping, you're going to need some wrap. Let's start removing the plastics from the center console. So what I am actually going to do is I'm going to start in the center, because I don't want to damage anywhere around here. It's just normal plastic, you can hear, but on here it's a little bit different. It's soft, but I don't want to damage this spongy leather, so I'm going to start with the middle where it's harder plastic, so then I can try and break it out after the middle's out. Now that I've removed this a little bit, I've realised there's two screws, one there and one there, holding this centre part in place. So what you want to do is you want to pop the bottom up first. Just get the orange plastic remover up like that, and that's come out really easy, to be fair. And there's two screws there. It looks like that one's broke on that side, but that one looks how it should be. So you need to remove those two screws, and then this middle part should just fall out. And that's what it's looking like so far. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to push this through so that we can actually take this out. So you need to remove these two wires here. You need to also make sure that they don't touch as well. So you'd be best putting some electrical tape on there, just so they don't connect to each other and then blow. So you need to make sure they're really spread apart and not touching whatsoever. So the black one connects to this one there, and then the red one connects closest to the green and red wire, which also you just twist and it just comes out like that. And then just remove the red one and make sure these do not touch each other at all. That's the first part removed, so we can put that to one side ready to be wrapped. Now you want to get a Phillips screwdriver and you just want to remove these two screws there. I'm not going to remove that one because it's broke, so obviously it'll just pull straight off. But I am going to remove this one here. So that's all that's holding it in place, so you just want to put that to one side. With these wires here, all you do is push back on this part here, and it should just pull out. You push it back and then just pull. Same with the other one. Well, that's what you'd normally do, but in my case, I'm actually going to put these back in, because what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to take out these 4 screws so that this casement comes off, and these 3 circles that controls all the air conditioning, I'm going to keep them silver so it stands out a little bit more, so that the silver isn't completely gone, and it'll give it a bit of an extra look then. But it's just easier rather than taking this out, and it'll make it so much easier to wrap around as well. So that's how I'm going to do that one. All you do is remove 1, 2, 3 and 4. All you need is a Phillips screwdriver. And that is the last screw out. Now this should just come away just like so. Obviously here it looks like it's still on, but it's not. That will always be covered just like that, so you're not going to see that, so you don't need to wrap any of that. but now the wires can stay in there and you're not going to have any problems with them. And we can now get a cleaner and much better finish on this wrap. That is the bottom and the middle removed. Now focusing on just the top. The last one you take out, because you've got 3 screws underneath this, which is one there, one in the center and one on the right, so you need to unscrew that with a Phillips. Right, so that's all 3 out. Now all you have to do is just give it a little pull, just like that. So easy. Give this button a little press here and then pull it down, and now we have top piece out that has the vents connected to it. As you can see, all 3 parts are out. It should look like this. As you can see, you don't need to take the screen out. The screen can stay there for those that have a screen. But obviously now everything's out, we can get to wrapping this. So I am actually going to wipe this down with an alcoholic wipe, because I do want to get rid of all the dust or any bits of dirt that may be trapped inside of this, so that when you actually go to wrap this, there's no like little hairs or dust that like show up on the wrap because of obviously the dirt behind it. And just so that it's clean for when the wrap goes on, so that it sticks a little bit better. And I'll be back with you guys once I've wiped the rest of it down. But before I do forget to mention as well, I'm going to take out the part here that you operate by clicking and it opens up. So all I'm going to do is remove these 4 screws here with a Phillips again, and then that way this will be removed, so then we can take this part out, and then it'll be easier again to wrap rather than trying to wrap around this and then underneath these seals here. So I am going to remove this and do that separately. Once they're removed, it should slot out just like that, and it will just be the face of this compartment here. Now that can go to one side, and then this will be a hell of a lot easier to wrap now that we can actually wrap over this part here and then behind here. It'll be so much easier. So I've got my roll, and here is the wrap. Obviously you can see a couple of creases and stretch marks in it at the moment. So what you do to eliminate that is you'll heat gun it down, and you're going to try and stretch it out, and then that's when you apply it to the part you're going to be wrapping. So as you can clearly see, this is coming on quite nicely now. Just little bits need sorting out, like tucking behind. But apart from that, it's looking all good at the moment. There's a little bit of a crease there, but it should just stretch out. That is that part done. Differences there between the original colour and the carbon fibre wrap. In my opinion, the carbon looks a lot nicer, probably due to the fact that it's got all these black stains on the silver one. I'm now going to wrap this part, the bottom piece of the centre console, and remember to get the zigzags in the same position so that they're not facing the wrong way, like say if they were going that way. So I'm going to try and get it so they go the exact same way as this does. But that is this pretty much finished. Now let's move on to this one. So the bottom of the center console is now done and it's looking really clean. I'm really happy with the way this one's turned out. And now we're moving on to the center part, and then we'll move on to the top piece last. Once that goes back in there, as you can see, they're lining up perfect and they're not going the opposite way. So we've done well with that one. This is before. Now let's get it wrapped. Don't know why we use water bottle, but it works. So if you don't have anything that's like a circle shape, then I'd definitely recommend using that. So what we've done is we've cut round here because trying to get the wrap to actually finish flush whilst keeping that to be tight against it is really difficult. What we've done is we've cut round. Obviously you can paint this black if you want to, but I'm probably going to keep it the same because the circles are going to be the same colour. Same with the hazard switch, so I'm not too fussed about that unless I want to paint them black. I'm going to go and take this hazard switch out. So all you do, press down on this button here, and it pops out like that. Maybe try and catch it at the same time, but that's how you get it out. I'm not going to wrap this. I'm going to keep it silver just so it matches with the little circles that control the vents. And we're going to take out the vents as well. So all you do is lift up underneath like that. So you just literally put your fingers under and push up whilst holding onto that as well. And then it should slip back just like that. He's pushed these up so that they can slip out. Same with that side. Now that one's out. Same again. Pop up like that. Be careful when you do this because they are quite brittle. If you are struggling to do it, maybe get a knife because it does make it that little bit easier. And as you can see, it's out. We should be able to get a much easier finish on this wrap rather than just cutting up to there. It'll actually go round and be able to tuck right into these edges now, which will be much better for it and it'll look much smarter. So we're just matching up the pattern now. And that is the top piece done. So now we can put the hazard switch back in it and the vents, and it is looking so much better. Going along with the center part itself, we've left the internal bit around the radio silver just so it pops off with the circles, and then the same with the hazard warning light just so it has a bit of silver on. It doesn't look completely weird with the circles itself. And now we can move on to putting some of the parts back in and then putting it back in the car itself. Now I'm going to put my hazard switch back in there. So all you do is pop it back in place and it's now done. It does actually pop off really nice with the silver on it still, so I'm quite happy I left it like that. Obviously this will be a mixed opinion from a lot of people. I've also cut there as well because the vents will be in there. You might still see it, but at least it has a little bit more silver to match with that then. So to put the vents back in, all you do is pop the top back in, and then you literally just push down like that so they're back in place. And that's the first one back in. And obviously that's still got chrome on it as well, so that'll match with that again. I need to get a replacement for that because it's lost it. Same again. Just push it down like that. And there you go. that is the top piece done. We need to turn this around. Let's put this back in there and screw it in place. This is it completely finished. All we need to do now is install it back into the car. Obviously it's just looking so much nicer than it did. I'm so happy with the results of this. Shout out to my dad for helping me do this, because this was hard and I was struggling with it, but he came in and helped and he's made it look proper, so I'm happy with that. Let's go install this in the car. I'm now going to start putting this back together. So we have the top bit first, and this white bit clips back in there again. And now it's in place, it should just push in like so. You need to screw the 3 screws back up in each of them so it's held in place. Moving on to the middle, which is this part here. Only 2 different size screws in the whole process. You've got the bigger circle Phillip here, and then you've got the smaller one. The one here will be going where that big one is there, so obviously on that side it'll be there, and the little ones go everywhere else that it needs it, to make that clear for anyone wondering. So just pop it back in place like so. Now we need to turn it over, because we need to put the screws back in here now, and that is only 4 of the little ones. Same with up here, they're the 3 little ones. Screw them all back in place, and now this should just clip back in place like that, and then you just need to screw both screws in here. Obviously mine's broke there, so that's where you will need to screw, and the same again here. And this will be your last screw to screw in. This is the bigger head. You need to make sure the last 2 go in here. So now you need to put these wires back in, so red here, and then the black one furthest away, just like that. And this one just slots in, and then you twist it, and then you need to spin this round. You need to get gear stick gator and pop it back through in the gaps. You want to slide this top bit in first so you can't affect the wrap. Hold it down and then push down here. It's mega in my opinion. I am so in love with how that's turned out. And this actually goes really well with the door panel covers here, like I said before. And here you go. If you haven't got this on your Subaru, I really do highly recommend you do this.
Take me back.
And this is what it looks like in the dark, and it honestly looks so sick. I'm so glad I've done this mod, and I would definitely recommend you do it to your Subaru Impreza as well. It just looks sick. So thanks for watching this video guys, and I will see you all in the next one. If you have any more video suggestions for this Subaru or the Corsa that I have, then comment it down below and I'll try my best to make it happen.
Take me back.